Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here in Indianapolis for Brickworld Indy 2017, and I am joined here by Shilo Parker, who is a minifig customizer and mosaic maker and a pop culture enthusiast, so he'll be providing some of that expertise along the way.
Yes, I will, and let's just mention this is my very first Brickworld ever, so everything's going to be new to me, and I'm going to be like, wow, it's going to look cool. Like these mosaics, for instance, look how big they are. We got like some hot air balloons. We got the evolution of the wheel. Obviously, you got using in the pulleys, the water, whatever you call them, and then you got the wagon, and obviously you got the slaves pulling the pharaoh, and obviously the guy inventing the wheel. And then here you got many forms of transportation. You got the riding the elephant, you got the camel, the donkey, wagons, and then you got the huskies down here. Very cool mosaics. I don't know who made them, but you can tell that they really put their heart and thought into it.
That's right. So that's just the beginning of all the incredible stuff we're going to show you on this entire tour of the show floor here at Brickworld Indy. So next we're going to take you over here to the M-Tron area, and we're going to kind of do this by area at the display here at the show. So we'll start with M-Tron and then take you around. So this is your first time at a Brickworld show. I know this. I've seen this at several Brickworld shows in the past, but have you ever seen any M-Tron display this large, Shilo?
With the shows I've usually been to, it's usually been like a classic space moon base with the the three colored spacemen, the blue, red, and yellow guys. I've never actually seen like an M-Tron base before. Like, I'm familiar with the thing, but I've just never seen it to this full scale, and it's actually really impressive. So
it's very cool. So we'll walk around here a bit and talk about some of the more interesting parts. You notice, first off, a lot of monorail tracks, so that's always cool.
From what I've gathered from looking at the sign, it's apparently this is a mining colony from pretty much the whole way down, and you can see all the little glowing green crystals glowing around. It's like it's either that's what the landscape is, or they're just picking it up and they're just everywhere. So it's really cool. It really has the effect of an alien landscape.
Got some large towers here as well to add some height to it, and not just the flat base plates all along.
I really like how when they did the little highway road here, it kind of matches the base plates that came out in the classic sets. You got the black with the green strips on them. Really cool. I like that detail.
Definitely. And down here you've got some moving parts. They got some black light there. A couple different areas with black light. Some cool moving wheels and stuff. I like what they've done with that. And then, oh, there's a nice use of is that the Death Star from like sort of the Star Wars Planets set?
Yeah, that's definitely the Death Star sets. Don't know what it is. Could be like a little power plant looking area, but it adds the effect for the whole base area. And I can see some little rings here. I think those are pretty cool. We got one turning right there. Very nice. I like that.
And all the classic kind of M-Tron ships, some custom stuff, some of the original kits here as well. And this is I don't know if we mentioned this, but this is a collaborative, so I'm not sure how many builders are involved, but it's a lot of...
Someone with a brick on their badge with something about M-Tron, so it seems like this is an actual collaboration between the, I'm assuming Indie Lug, probably.
There we go, and here's a large tower. That looks a little precarious there.
That's definitely dangerous. It's got my certification of a very dangerous model right there.
Okay, we'll see how many builds get that certification as we go throughout the tower here. And here's a quick, I think we should make sure we get a shot of this. On the other side of this kind of rock here, you've got the large mining vehicle in there.
From what it looks like, it's like you got the drill going right here. It looks like it's digging on the ground. Eventually they're going to come out to the outside, so they're not going to get much out of that from when they're drilling. Definitely like the use of the base plate right here, adding to the landscape of the whole thing. And you got a use of a whole bionicle piece right here. This came in play sets right here. So very, very good, definitely good mix of parts right in here. Like
yeah. And once again, tons of monorail track down here. Yeah. So this display probably has more monorail track than just about any other display I've seen.
People that built this really love monorail. It's not coming back, guys. I'm sorry.
We can always wish. Then we'll move on to the next section here. So this is kind of a mix of several different types of builds all along here. We start with some Warhammer mech type stuff here.
Yeah, Warhammer, from what I've gathered, it's like almost like a board game. Well, it's not really a board game, but it's a tabletop game. And being in the game workshops, the figures can be very expensive, and people buy them, like you paint them basically. It's a good way to customize your own figurines, and they come in a whole slew of stuff. You get like a medieval kind of stuff. You got the futuristic mech stuff, and for people that people collect these, and if you ever hop into a hobby shop and see these, take a good look. They're really nice. I like.
You see a lot of this type of stuff in those shops, but yeah, there's all sorts of cool details. I love like the blue figures here, and if you notice, they're all built on stands. So like you said, it's kind of like the board game type of thing.
Warhammer figures always come on a stand, and they usually are landscape based or just plain stands. So very cool.
So yeah, these are really impressive, very detailed stuff. And I think we're being called.
Yeah, you're being called right now.
They're calling our name over the loudspeaker. We'll just keep moving on through the. Okay. Hello to the viewers from the man on the loudspeaker.
Here we got an interesting diorama of the. I forgot his name, but it came from the new Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Niffler, it says on the mock cart.
Right,
yes.
That's right. Yes, Niffler. From what I gather, it's like it's a platypus-looking creature that is fanatical about gold and jewelry. I haven't seen the movie, so I'm sure I'm going to get a whole slew of comments about how I don't know who Niffler is. And I know my best friend, she loves Niffler so much, so I showed her that mock today, and she loved it. So
yeah, that's great. There's a couple interesting builds along here. Dungeon Crawl. I think we're starting like a whole string of builds by Tyler Hollowell, who's just an incredibly talented builder that always shows up with some great stuff here at Brickworld Indy. So this first one is Dungeon Crawl. Looks like he's got some different guys fighting inside. There were like a tentacle monster in the back there.
It looks very interesting. I like it. It's got the whole Lord of the Rings feel to me. I don't know, like you're ever playing a video game, it definitely has a whole dungeon feel to it.
There's a guy with a mushroom on his head on the left. That's interesting.
I have no idea what's going on with that.
Then here are his kind of figures or busts, and I think he's brought some of these before, so if you've seen our videos from Brickworld Indy in the past, you're probably familiar with some of these.
I'm familiar with a few of them, like this one. I know it's from a movie. I can't remember.
Yeah, like the Pale Man, the Fawn.
You also got Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet that will be coming out in a couple of years or so with the new Avengers 3. And then you got busts of, let's see what we got here for names.
I think it's Death,
Dream, and
Delirium, I think. Yeah.
Very interesting use of the pieces, and I especially like the colors on her hair. It's very wild. I believe the term would be a good.
And I want to say, from talking to Tyler in the past, that's from Neil Gaiman books, I believe.
I've seen Neil Gaiman stuff before, and that style really.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I hope Tyler doesn't get upset at me if I'm messing that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So then we've got the Green Dragon and then Hellboy here.
Very cool Hellboy bust right there. Definitely Ron Perlman would be very proud of that.
And then one of my favorites from Tyler is the Monkey King, because this one's really more, he's got the whole figure sitting here, he's got the stand and everything. I really love this build. I
like that. It's Monkey King, I'm assuming based off the Monkey King from the Chinese folklore.
I would think so, yeah. And I love the face as well. You just look at the detail in there and the expression on the face.
Get that fierce look of a warrior in his eyes. Like that. Love it.
And then some of these are characters sort of made in the style of the new Brickheads Lego line, I believe.
Looking at the mock card, Blox Machina, I want to assume it's based off of Ex Machina, if I had to guess. Like I said, there is some stuff I'm not familiar with, so if I'm I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this.
Just go in assuming that you'll get the flack for something, and then you're set.
Either way, cute. The whole Brickheads thing, I've seen a lot of people making their own custom styles, so that's definitely going to be a craze for the next couple of years.
And now we come to what you'll setup you'll see throughout the show here as we show you around is a lower table setup, and this is basically to include kids more in the exhibit. You set it up lower, and that way kids who are shorter can see what's going on in the displays and stuff. So you'll see this throughout the time that we're showing you the show floor here.
What we have here is a zoo, and it has a whole slew of animals, and even some brick-built ones. Like you got some hippos in the water; those are brick-built. Very interesting. I like that. And then you got the elephant paddock back here with ostriches. You got the alligators and crocodiles, camels, and then you obviously got the whole fairground area. Not bad. You got some goats, the little petting zoo in the back, and reindeer over there. You got the wolves right there, and then you got the whole seal aquariums down here with the penguins and polar bears. Yeah, polar bears right there. And then I guess this is where the zoo ends right here.
You got the river running outside it. So yeah, that's a neat zoo. I think there's actually a friend's zoo we'll show you later as well. So a couple neat zoo builds here at this show. Now next we have some mosaics, and I feel like if you want to back up with the camera, like the mosaics are best seen from a distance because they look much better that way. So the first one, I believe we have Van Gogh Starry Night here. The nice brick-built frame on it.
Yep, I like this one. This was built by my friend EJ. He built a lot of mosaics with he and Abby. They do a lot of work together, and there's a lot of detail in this. Like even when you look up close, you can see how many pieces are in there, and I don't know if I got a patience for that, but it's very nice.
And then the next one down here, the We Can Do It poster. So very famous kind of World War II era poster recreated here with Lego. And I really like the 3D effect with this to kind of build out from the frame.
She definitely has the bricks coming out, and she told me how like the bricks are also connected to the background Technic plate, so that way it helps support it a little bit. That way it doesn't fall apart. Very nice build. I've seen this a few times, and it's always good to see it at a convention.
And then several more here by EJ and Abby. So I think Abby did this one where basically she just took kind of a frame and filled it with the 1x1 kind of round stud pieces there to make that.
Yeah, and I know she told me it was a very painstaking process because you got to get it just right. Otherwise, you got to start all over. And it's basically it looks like it's a tropical island paradise kind of place. So not bad.
And then Grumpy Cat, famous meme there as well, and the Batman slapping Robin. There you go. Then here's some more interesting stuff that they made with some picture frames. Yeah. And what is some of the backstory of some of these, Hill?
From what I've been told, this is the actual engagement ring that he proposed to her with them, and that's them in the photos right there. And then this was also on the wedding cake topper. So they're nuts for Lego. You know, they're a good pair together. And then they got lamps that actually work. They're not lit up right now. You can buy them in their store. Just heads up. And they also got some flowers here too, very nice models that they built. So very creative.
Yeah, great stuff there. And now we round the corner to what I think has got to be probably the best stuff on display at the whole show here. If you want to talk to us about these incredible mosaics.
These are from a video game called Final Fantasy. That's from Final Fantasy series. I made these. This is the Mogul. It's one of the icons from the series. And then we got Terra from Final Fantasy VI. This is a Chocobo, another icon from the game series, and then we also have Vivi. He's a black mage from Final Fantasy IX. Also, black mages are also iconic to the game series. So, I plan to make more in the future. So.
And a quick shot, I think, of the brick badge is needed here as well. Here's your brick badge.
My very famous brick badge. People know me by my brick badge for some reason, so I like to show off. It's what I like to do.
There you go. Well, cool stuff. Thanks for bringing those. I think it added a lot of stuff to the show. So now I think we move into what is kind of 4 modules or four parts of the layout by James Burrows here. And so there's kind of a train track running around the entire thing of this. The first part is his castle build here. You got the outside wall and then all sorts of fun stuff going on inside.
This is a very colorful looking layout because you got all the pink and white, red flowers. Just it's kind of like a fairy tale paradise. It's a good little market area. Got a little carriage on the outside with the dragon, and then it looks almost like a park too, because you got normal people just attending it, walking in and out. So it looks very cool, and I especially like the tower. It looks very well built.
And I want to point out real quick, if you come back over here to kind of the back of this church, one of my favorite techniques, I love every time I see this, is the stained glass technique there with the different color kind of see-through pieces that make that stained glass effect. Anytime I see that on a building, I always think that's really neat.
I always see that in a lot of mocks too, Josh. Not much to say, but
I know. I just really enjoy that effect, so I like to point that out. So then moving down here, we have
I believe this was the Ninjago build. I saw this at Brick Fair, Alabama. It looks really cool. I like the Asian architecture style. It's one of my favorite things about Japan and China. Very good, interesting layout. Cool few things here. You got the whole Shinto shrine right here, and you got the whole Ninjago characters thrown in here too, so very cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think you really captured the iconic look, even with the trees and everything of like you were saying, kind of the Asian architecture and landscape there.
Very nice.
And then down here is James's really cool coaster the coaster layout here. And so you might have seen this. We interviewed James at Brick Fair, Alabama about this, and so there's more in-depth video on the channel you can find if you want to learn more about this build, but it's very cool. The roller coaster actually works when it's running. Just a really impressive layout.
It's a Jurassic World without the fences. All the dinosaurs are roaming freely. It's very interesting.
It even has lots of lights and stuff that light up during the public hours when everybody's walking around.
Someone actually pointed out to me there's a little putt-putt golf on the island. So it's very, not every day you get to see golf, people playing golf.
And then the final part of James's layout here is kind of the Wild West area here. One thing that I really like is the sort of painted hills effect with the different layers of colored bricks there in the back, and then the brick built wagons are really neat as well.
So yeah, the way you mentioned the hills in the back, you don't see that very often. Usually it's just a big lump of tan bricks. You know, now it's got the whole sandstone effect, and it looks really cool. Almost as if the sun's also hitting it at the same time. I like it.
And his buildings here were very nice as well, very iconic Western looking, but also a little cleaner, not as run down as you see a lot of these types of builds, which I kind of like.
Did you notice how the wagons are actually brick built too, with the not using canvas?
Yeah, they got like, what is that, like the sloped arch type pieces there?
Yeah, you don't see those. You don't see that very often.
That's very cool. And then I think this is also James's, the massive, something like 7 to 8 foot tall Washington Monument here.
It just looks very dangerous. It's got the certification of dangerous model right here. And he also looks like he got a merry-go-round right here, a Star Wars themed merry-go-round. It's got a whole slew of things going on here.
Micro versions of a lot of famous Star Wars vehicles on top there.
I think some of them may actually be real sets, but I don't like to see this thing in motion, but I guess we'll have to wait another time.
Here we come to the Brickworks Industries layout with all sorts of cool builds. I think you can see the builder working back there in the background. Do you mind coming out here just real quick to kind of give us an overview of what you've got on display here? Give him a second here, because there's all sorts of really cool stuff that he brought to this show. So if we come down here, we can actually start, if you want, kind of at this big layout and just kind of describe what this is for us real quick.
Okay, so basically it's just kind of a forward operating base for my faction that I came up with. You got like parts and things for working on the mechs, and a little miniature invasion going on, I guess.
Yeah, so neat features there, and I love what you've done with the tiling and the really nice kind of look out here, and then the more broken down landscaping and stuff out in this area. Yeah, very impressive. And then so outside of that kind of layout, you've got just all sorts of other mechs and stuff you built here. Yeah. Some of these massive ones.
Kind of the same theme, same color scheme and everything, so it's all supposed to go together. I just, haven't built out the display that far. But, yeah. My kind of build style is bigger the better,
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a big mock, people will be like, whoa!
And I like it. You also bring like custom mock cards that are really neat. I like that, and these kind of descriptions of the builds there.
Yeah, just to kind of tie it all together.
Yeah. Well, impressive stuff. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, great layout here. And now we're starting at a new section, new big rectangle layouts here. And the first display we come to is, I believe, several Adventure Time builds here. So I am not real familiar with Adventure Time. Shilo, what do you know about this?
I just know that it's a fantasy-themed cartoon show, and I know adults watch it too, and that's about it.
There we go. But these builds are really impressive. It looks like you've got some characters from the game. You can see a book there that kind of shows what they based it off of. So several characters, and then the large Adventure Time treehouse, which is kind of the iconic. There's even the photo that the builder based it off of.
I like how he incorporated the official sets, and I noticed that he's got some custom builds right here. You got like a little another little blockheads thing. I believe he just made that one. It's a little custom minifig style, and then this looks like the dog character too. Very nice, and incorporating his work with official Lego work.
And yeah, because Lego released, what is the Lego Ideas set?
Yeah, Lego Ideas, and then he also came out with a Lego Dimensions pack with quite a few characters. So I know people have been wanting that for a long time, and now they got it. So very good.
And great work with kind of the foliage on this build as well. You can see inside there, there's sort of the buildings inside there, but the tree, the way he did the trees, I think turned out really nice.
It's definitely a lot of shrubbery going on.
So yeah, some cool Adventure Time builds there, and we'll come around the corner. Here's some more cool dino builds, kind of like the build we showed you, the roller coaster build earlier. Some really neat.
This is more like just a landscape of just dinosaurs. It's not like when people usually see dinosaurs, they're like, oh, Jurassic Park, but judging by the brick that right here, it just says Age of Dinosaurs, so it's just dinosaurs. What more can you want?
Yeah, lots of good stuff here. So keep moving down this direction, and here we come to a series of smaller builds. You've got all sorts. There's Fallout 3, Liberty Prime, so Fallout. It looks like we got a couple Fallout builds here.
Yeah, definitely a mixture of stuff going on here. You got like military, pop culture stuff here, so it could be a few good things lying around here.
space probes and rovers. That's pretty cool. So you got kind of a, I like the stand he used there as well. Is that, I don't know if I've seen that stand before. It's kind of an interesting stand design there. I like that.
I'm sure it's Lego. That's probably a good way to incorporate it up. I like the idea. I might have to steal it for later.
And then here, this is the, I believe, Southern Ohio Lego Users Group. I want to say, yeah. So you can see their sign there. And I'm assuming some of these builds are from those builders as well. Here's another Warhammer build. Several Warhammer builds there. Showed you some of those earlier.
These, from what I can see, these look like Jurassic Parks, because that looks like a John Hammond kind of guy, and that about, you know.
Custom city vehicles is what the mock card says there. So just a variety of vehicles. Here's a whole city fire layout. You can see the firemen in action. I like that there. And then if we keep moving on down here, we've got kind of a nice city park layout almost. You got the pool, you got some campers coming in. It's like some barbecues set up and everything.
You know, it's not every day you see a whole layout with stuff like that. I mean, I've been to a few events, and like I saw one with like one huge water park, and you don't see that very often. I like seeing more like theme park-esque stuff, because then you can just see a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it's not bad. I like that.
And then here's a whole motor vehicle accident, making great use of the kind of street plates there. Accident in the intersection, holding up traffic. I'm sure there's upset people at that display.
These just look like Lego sets just put together with
modular buildings here, several of the modulars.
And it looks like it's a good display of the recent Marvel sets, and then you got the Helicarrier, and then you got the Quinjets, and that's a recent Marvel set right there, and then you got obviously got the heroes right here. So not bad, cool stuff.
And here is something from the classic, I believe, Mars Attack line. So this is a line that a lot of people probably don't remember. It's one of the, what was this, like 90s, early 2000s?
It was around that time. It was actually called Life on Mars. It was kind of a two split thing. You had like astronauts, explorers. They came in a few sets, and then you have the Martians, and they had a whole like colony like sets, and they came in a few mech sets. Some of the sets are in here, but most of the whole build is just customized, and obviously you got the whole monorail track going around too.
So yeah, the monorail kind of from that time period. Lots of cool custom builds throughout there. And then there's even a nice frame here where they have the Life on Mars.
Yeah, it shows all the Martians up close. They all had names. I don't remember them, but you can probably find a whole listing on Bricklink.
So there you go. Yeah, some cool.
Actually, if you look at this, they got one of the original instruction booklets right here. These are what the sets actually looked like. You know, you got the whole colony, and what the things they were known for were the little tubes. You pump this here, and the Martians are on this thing, and basically you can send them through these tubes right here, like that.
Which, if that looks familiar to some people, they basically rehashed this set in the Mars mission line. They released a very similar set to that with the tubes and everything.
It was exactly like this. They also had the human astronauts, and also they had those little trans-green Martians. So yeah, this is basically what they are. And see, they got names named after stars.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So, very nice. All right, we'll just leave that.
Okay, next up I think we have, if you've seen the movie 300, you might recognize this scene. So the pass at Thermopylae here with the 300 Spartans making their last stand against the Persians here. You can see the king on his massive throne, golden throne there. I really like this.
It's definitely a good interpretation, whether you've seen the movie or read the comic or even just know about it in history. It's they got the golden throne, and then you got the Persian army, and then you got that one guy on the cliff. That was the rejected Spartan that eventually betrayed Leonidas in the movie. So
yeah, led them around on the secret path that he knew of, and helped them to help the Persians defeat the Spartans. So
sounds like you've seen the movie before, Josh.
This is more from my study of history. I've never actually seen that movie, but this is one of my favorite time periods in history.
That's exactly what happened. So.
Funny how it actually happened that way. Okay, so here's the Star Wars and M&M's mashup mosaic.
Yeah, I still don't understand this mosaic. I saw it online before. The Star Wars is cool, but then you get the peanut M&Ms. I don't understand the concept. I don't remember any advertising for it. But it's interesting, and it's cool, and it makes you want M&Ms.
There you go. It's subtle, not so subtle advertising by M&Ms.
And here we're looks like we got a whole slew of things, most likely by the same builder. We got a little Pac-Man brick built stuff. You got a train going around here. You got some spaceships, some interesting buildings here. You got a little very different style, and I like the little Oriental style building in the middle. Very cool.
Yeah, I think what is that? The white dome piece is kind of from one of the old...
Yeah, the old adventure sets, the Orient.
Yeah, Orient Expedition. Yeah. Okay.
Very nice. And then you got some My Little Pony mosaics, and then you got a little Yoshi brick built thing, and also another Shinto shrine thing going on. So very interesting slew of builds. Very nice.
Minecraft. Everybody loves some cool Lego Minecraft builds here. So... is that Steve? Is that what the character's name?
I never played the game, but that's what they call him.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve. And then you got the creeper, the little cactus-looking character. I don't know.
Cactus-looking character is a really good way to describe
that.
that.
I don't play the game, but from what it looks like a giant cactus that destroys your builds, probably.
Well, we'll go with that. I think that works. Then
we got a whole collection of monochrome figures of different pieces in different colors. Back in the old days, Lego only had a select few of colors and minifig parts, but now you can build a whole minifig of just one color now. It's very cool to see that stuff.
Then kind of a Maxifig version of Batman and Unikitty back there as well.
Yeah, very, very cool. I like the big proportions of that. It's always interesting to see how people actually build stuff bigger like that. And then
the Old West, I believe this is kind of a scene from the Lego movie. So if you like the Unikitty, here's the whole Lego movie Old West scene, and it looks like this might be by the same builder, James Burrows. You see some of the same wagon design and stuff from his layout.
Did you say wagon? Wagon.
I'll get some comments on that as well.
And here we got a whole Friends style farm. This whole table layout is actually Friends style, but we'll get there. But this is a Friends farm. You got the cows in the middle, and then you got a whole crops and pastures over here, and then you got the house. You got a little barn over here, and then you got a very pink magenta barn right there. Definitely Friends style. Then as you keep going, you got a little lake here. You got them having a cookout, a little tree house here, and then cheese fishing in the middle. So very cool.
I think everyone needs a pink barn in their yard.
Gotta have a pink barn. So, and then here we got a Friends style zoo, and this one has another different kind of variety of animals than the other zoo we just saw. You got some giraffes here from the Duplo line, and then got some custom zebras going on here, and he even added pandas and gorillas. I like that. I'm just disappointed I don't see a lion anywhere, but maybe
there's some like tiger cubs there.
Yeah, you got the baby tigers, but they're not lions.
That's true. It's not lions.
Got the big lion.
I do love the pandas. I think is one of my favorite here. I love the pandas area with like the bamboo stalks. And then like you mentioned, the custom zebras are so neat. I think he just took a white horse and used Sharpie and customized them into zebras, and I think the effect works nicely. Look, it's
whatever gets the job done. Very cool. And then here we got a very different variety of stuff.
Series of vignettes almost.
Yes, they're from scenes. I know they're from movies. We got one from here. The
2001: A Space Odyssey.
There you go. That's the one. And then we got Alien right here. We got the Wizard of Oz right here. Lord of the Rings is right there. Indiana Jones. This is from Doctor Who. We got a Santa sleigh here going on here, and we got a little. Looks like a little space station kind of thing. I don't know what's going on there.
Blue Moon Cheese is what the sign says there. So a space cheese shop. They need cheese in space as well.
They always said there's cheese on the moon. And I don't know what this is going on here, but I see some dice. I'm going to roll it, see what happens. So that's cool. I like that.
It's a castle dice roller.
There you go. I like that. And you got a whole little Unikitty shrine here. I thought this was hilarious because the whole thing's just made out of angry Unikitties. And then you got the really angry Unikitty in the middle. So I don't know what the guy's paying homage to, but she's not happy.
Yeah, I do think that's really cool. It's kind of one of those smaller but just like kind of funny builds that uses a piece in an interesting way there.
I always enjoy seeing funny builds because you got to have a sense of humor at these events.
Definitely. So I think that finishes up kind of this whole area. So we'll move around, I think, down this direction and make sure we hit this. Our goal, as we've said in past tours, is always to show you as much as possible. So we try to show you everything that's on the show floor without skipping anything. So we'll keep moving this way and come down here to some cool, really neat, some larger layouts. And we'll start right here with this classic space layout. And so, if you've seen the Lego movie, once again, Spaceman Benny, a lot of people's favorite character.
I've never seen a movie. I don't know anything about it. Nah, just kidding. So yeah, this is normal layout from what I've seen before. You got the classic space moon base guys. They're just doing their thing in space. Some people incorporate actual Lego sets or just make their own. But I haven't been around, so I don't know whether they're real sets or actual mocks. But they still look cool, and people enjoy the theme. And it's not coming back either, guys. I'm sorry.
Just like the monorail around there. But until it maybe does eventually come back, people make the best of it. And I always like seeing the moon kind of module base plates. I think that's cool.
I always like seeing those, but it's always amazing how people have just so much of the base plates. They're not cheap.
Quite a few in this build. Move around the classic space sign there and come over here to, I believe this is Brian Williams' layout, which he has. You've probably seen versions of this in past videos from Indy because he's kind of used this same model to expand on and just keeps adding characters. It's just chock full of references to everything you can imagine in here.
I was looking at this earlier, and he's got a lot of stuff in here. Just by pointing it out, you got what was that movie again?
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, there we go. And then you got the Hulk fighting the Rancor. You got all references to movies. You got Stargate in that first hangar right there. You actually got the Homer mobile right there from The Simpsons. For those that watch the show, I like the little helicopter there from James Bond. You Only Live Twice. One of my favorite movies. Looks like they're filming the moon landing.
Yeah, the fake moon landing. That's a brilliant module. I just love that with the Earth hanging in the background there and all the cameras set up. I think that's just a really cool way he presented that.
I can't see what's going on well on the top. I can see Lex Luthor has captured Superman in that one over there. You got E.T. on the bicycle going across there. I just noticed up there you got Aladdin and Jasmine with Genie up there.
The top of kind of the tower there.
Very cool. And then you got the Springfield Poolmobile, another Simpsons reference.
So is that a pool? I do not watch The Simpsons, I'll admit that. So is that a pool in a truck there?
Yeah, one of the episodes they were during a little heat stroke during the summer, and basically the bus driver, Otto, he pulled up in a big truck with a pool, and kids were playing it for 4 hours, and then he's like, all right, I gotta get this to another town, and then that was the episode where they got the pool. So it was a cool episode. Yeah. And then down here, looks like you got a whole bunch of slew of characters going here. It seems like Sonic and the Flash are on treadmills of some sort.
It's like the Time Machine Laboratory, so I think it's different time machines from maybe sort of.
I can see Stewie and Brian from Family Guy. They got their time pad. You got the TARDIS from Doctor Who in there.
Maybe the hot tub time machine in the back right there with the big circle, trans-clear circle.
And I can see the characters from Bill and Ted in the back because I know they captured Abraham Lincoln, Shakespeare, Genghis Khan, and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's very excellent with that one.
And I think that's Star Trek in the back left, I think.
Looks of it. Could be.
We'll go with that, yes.
Also, and a little reference to Ninja Turtles 3 with the little time thing that they had. Very horrible movie. Don't see it, kids.
Don't do that to yourself, kids. But then also Doctor Strangelove's War Room is very, very iconic there from that movie. So if you're familiar with that, you'll probably recognize that right away. But I just love the way that Brian has kind of incorporated within the buildings here and just throughout the whole layout, all these different references.
And then you also got the last hangar part. It's a scene from the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Indiana Jones is when they in the beginning of the movie when they're trying to have Dr. Jones look at the alien carcass thing. Another horrible movie, kids. Don't watch it.
Okay, and then keep moving down. What else does he have here?
He's got Donkey Kong and Mario and Luigi in the back. Kind of Luigi wasn't in that game, but it was Mario versus Donkey Kong. It was very cool stuff to see. He's using the Connects figureheads on top of actual Lego bodies, so he's mixing the two brands together.
And I think it's worth pointing out here that he's got these this tower here is just, I don't even know how tall.
It's very dangerous, and I was actually thinking it would actually fall over. He had to take it down before, but it looks like he's got it supporting now with strings. So he's being very smart, and it seems Superman actually broke out of his hold, is now flying up there.
And I believe there's a reference to the Indiana Jones in the fridge during the nuclear blast there.
I don't know how he survived that, but he's flying. So a whole bunch of Easter eggs are going on in here, and there's no way you'll be able to get it all in one watch. If you keep coming back to it, you're going to find something new every time. So very interesting layout.
Yeah, it's always cool to see what Brian Williams brings to these displays. And then here we have, so this is an interesting build. This is a school in Nicaragua. We were talking to the builder earlier. He said he took several missions trips here. And so there's like schoolrooms in there. I think there's like a church as part of that as well. And so I just think this is really neat, kind of building something that he's traveled to. I think that's a neat idea. And then the color scheme is really cool here as well.
When we talked to him earlier, he did show a lot of passion for it. And from someone that's gone back there so many times, I believe he captured the school very nicely. So very well done.
And then I think the same builder has several builds along here. So here, I think we talked about some of these builds with him last year, so you might remember some of those videos. This is the lime green telephone. There was a piece in a contest where every build had to incorporate that somehow, and so that's why you see it used in all of these builds.
Yeah, very interesting. It was like a caterpillar with a pencil. I don't know if that's from a show or movie, but it looks like it's from something. And then you got like a princess over here. I don't know who that is. And then you also got stuff in the background. You got a little playground thing. You got a building. You got a Lego coin bank right there. A helix, a ball, and whatever that orange thing is. So very interesting. Like it's interesting how you take a very simple design and just make it look very cool. But one of my favorite things over here is actually this very clear hoop ring. And I took a good look at it. It's all brick. And he's just got it angled to where it's just like that.
This is all the 1x2 kind of clear bricks there?
Yeah, it looks like that. And I'm sure he had a hard time getting that all together, but it's very cool looking.
And then here's a neat building by, looks like maybe Brick Loot. I see the Brick Loot brick up there. So this is kind of the inside of a building with lots of cool interiors here. And there's even an Iron Man room with a cannon in it. So this family must have an interesting life here.
Yeah, it looks like just a really cool looking house. You got the bedrooms up here. You got the attic with a whole bunch of stuff. Looks like this person likes to snowboard a lot. And you got the room here. It kind of looks like Bart Simpson's room, but with the colors. And I can barely see down here. You got the living room, and that looks like an exercise. The kitchen right here, and then they got the dining room, and very interesting looking house. And it seems that a lot of people that build dollhouse-like sets really put a lot of detail in them too.
Yeah, it's neat to see the inside of the rooms. If we come around the corner here, then you see what I mentioned earlier with the lower tables. So you've got kind of the Duplo, and as I mentioned, it's for kids. So you've got the Duplo layout here with some of the Duplo train track and Duplo trains.
I got no comment on that.
You don't see a lot of Duplo though at show, so this is kind of interesting because like a whole layout of a table like this, I think is kind of cool to see.
I'm looking at the stuff on top. Got a very colorful looking stuff here. They got a little loopy thing right there, rainbow style, and then you got the diamond going on here, and then you got the whole pyramid. Very interesting stuff. I also like the banana. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that's from the peanut butter jelly time banana. So
yeah, that's an interesting design there. I like the way they achieved that.
Yeah.
And I think next we've got, what is this? Some Star Wars builds from the Star Wars movie, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that's from Rogue One. That's that Krennic dude. He flies that ship, and then you got the TIE fighter right over there. Very interesting looking stuff. And then you got another ship over here. I don't know what it's called. Kylo Ren's command shuttle. There we go. Yeah. I know Lego came out with a set, but this looks more like a mock right here. Very, very detailed.
And then some cool Batman builds here as well. Variety of those. You got some Black Panther. And then some more Avengers, Quinjet.
It looks like a mixture of Lego sets and actual mocks put together. So, people like to do that, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of adds more to the set, because sometimes you won't get much. Well, like, I want to do more.
Expand on what Lego gives you. And I think that's sort of what's happened here as well with the Arctic exploration. So this is a somewhat recent Lego line.
Yeah.
And then they added kind of their own type builds and landscaping.
I know Lego had like 2 Arctic themes before, one back in the day, and then years later they came out with this one with all the orange pieces, and it's like basically it's just an orange Arctic expedition. Very cool looking sets. I know they came with a lot of cool pieces, and not really much else to say about that one either.
But it is. I do like all the landscaping, the snow stuff, and everything. I think it looks really nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I don't know what they're mining for, but it looks like they're mining for ice.
People need their ice.
Yes, we need the ice.
So then, looks like kind of in this row one more layout here. So this kind of finishes out that square build, and we'll come over here and make sure we hit this. Looks like we've got a sort of raised train and city layout here.
Well, it looks like you got a guy building a house right there.
That's true. That guy's starting from scratch right there.
I will hope he's building it with Lego.
And then so I think what they did here, it looks like they just like lowered this table a bit, and that's how they kind of achieved the lower effect with the.
It's like you got like a hill with this whole town right here going on here, and then you got this town going on right here. So let's just follow the tracks.
Yeah, follow the tracks all along here. There's kind of the train depot area there.
Almost like a mill yard kind of place where the trains park, or maybe like a little factory kind of area. So,
that's right. All sorts of cool stuff along here. Look at the way they did the tracks. I really like that. All the tracks intersecting, and I'm sure when the public is here, they have trains running on these.
I wonder if they can keep track of where each train is going, because that's a lot of connections going on there.
Hopefully nothing crashes into each other.
And then you got another farm going on here. You got the cows out in the pasture. And you got a little pond right in the middle. And then you got a big red barn with the house right next to it. And then you got over here, you got the horses over here. And this looks like this guy is trying to catch a skunk. That way he can take his tractor out in the field.
And then here you get kind of the city portion of it. And I like what they did. If you look here, it's kind of the triangle building. So they built the buildings kind of smaller as they ran out of room, instead of just kind of building them. They build it at an angle, sort of, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and I see that Willy Wonka is showing right over there.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to see that movie.
Come around the corner here, you got some neat bridges, train and kind of pedestrian car bridges over the water.
It feels like one of those little small towns. Like. You're driving around, the Midwest, a bunch of farms, and then suddenly you hit downtown, like a downtown, and you get like everyone's just close together. It just makes you feel right at home. And that's what it kind of feels like when I see this.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, interesting architecture on these buildings as well. And I like how you can see here how they kind of build up with the yellow bricks around the outside, kind of build up the edge. And I noticed down there they had some Duplo bricks building up the edge as well.
This is from the Central Indiana Lego Train Club, from what the sign says.
There you go.
I have to guess this is somewhere in Indiana.
Yeah, it could very well be inspired by some local towns around the Indianapolis area. And this, look at the slope on this is really interesting. You don't see that kind of stuff in town layouts very often.
Well, they got to connect it from the lower table to the higher table somehow.
But I love how they did that kind of the studs not on top type building for the road there.
One detail that I normally don't see in town layouts is that this building has a transformer right on the outside, and I've never actually seen that before. So I thought that was actually kind of funny. So hopefully the power doesn't go out.
For the sake of these Lego Towns people, we hope not. And then I think kind of the end of this display is kind of a maxi fig here and a fire hydrant?
Yes, fire hydrant.
Yeah. That's really neat. So kind of enlarged versions there. I like that. So then we'll keep moving around from that city and train layout. As Shilo puts the bars back, we will check out some of this stuff here. Looks like there's a lot of really large Lego.
Technic style vehicles going on over here. From the looks of it, all of them could be our custom.
Yeah, I think there's some really cool custom vehicles all along here. It looks like the builder was even featured in, what is this, the Toy Trucker and Contractor magazine?
Yeah, got a whole story going on here, but he looks very happy in his photo showing off his truck right there. Now we got Brian Bonahum right here, the coordinator Brickworld Indy. How you doing, Brian?
I'm tired. I just want to know how much longer you guys are going to be.
We're halfway done.
Maybe. We're getting there. Hopefully soon.
Oh my God. You guys haven't done this row yet, have you?
No. Just tell us
You know what, though? I don't mind leaving you guys here working, so I trust you.
There you go. Well, we won't hurt anything. Shilo can behave himself.
You know, Brian, just enjoy the night. You earned it, all right, man?
Yeah, it's been a long day. Thanks for being here, guys. Have a good time. This is really awesome stuff. Steve just started building a couple years ago.
Wow.
To get where he got in a couple of years is pretty impressive. All this stuff that you see down here is all motorized. I'm pretty sure it all drives, and he lets the kids play with it. And then he's got, his Palm City up there. Of course, it's not all built on base plates and all that, but the houses, the palm trees, all that original design. It's pretty good stuff for a guy that's just starting to pick it up.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Very cool stuff. So we'll make sure to take a walk around the block here and make sure we show all of that. Thanks, Brian. We will see what else we have along here.
Show R2D2.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Show the next thing.
We're going to show everything here at the show. We don't miss anything. Don't worry, Brian. So... Okay, so we're going to stick around here and make sure we show you the rest of the stuff. I like this Lego tiled billboard over here.
Very nice. That's very cool. I'm assuming this was the same guy that built it. And I see we've got another newspaper snippet of what's going on here. Would like to read it, but there's just so much going on here. Very cool. Very cool.
Trying not to knock over any signage there. Yeah, there you can see the snippets of the newspaper. So it looks like his work has been covered quite a bit. So that's really neat.
From the vehicles, we got some whole slew of buildings going on here too, and it seems he's a man that does both. So you do the buildings and you do the vehicles, so it's not too bad.
Very multi-talented, especially as Brian mentioned. He's just somewhat recent builder as well. And yeah, I love these houses that he built here are just incredible. I love the designs on these. It's kind of the same color scheme, but different design and layout for each house. And I just think it's very kind of clean cut. It has great landscaping around it. Love what he did with like tiling, the awnings, and the patios and things like that.
These look like homes you retire in. You know, you got the very nice look, Richie condo-looking houses, and I like the style. Just very cool.
Great roof techniques in each one. Using the darker red color here and everything. So yeah, just all around excellent builds here.
Moving on, we got a whole bunch of stuff going on here.
Get the cameraman out from underneath the table there.
This is not Lego, but this is R2D2. I don't know what the stuff is, but it's just a life-size looking R2D2.
I believe that's Vex, and so there's usually that's like robotics type stuff, and so there's been some builds in the past at Brickworld Indy and some of the Brickworld shows. You see some of that stuff.
It reminds me of the old style, like Technic style, but and then also the Z-Nap sets from back in the day. So very interesting. I thought it was Lego at first when I first saw it until you guys corrected me earlier.
Yeah, it's still a great little R2D2 build there, and then kind of in the whole surrounding area, you see some Star Wars related builds as well all around here. And I think these are some of the smaller kind of mini kits Lego has released recently.
Yeah, some of these are actually the original. These came out many years ago. They're original Star Wars Technic sets. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't make them anymore, but they made a couple cool ones.
Because at this point, Star Wars as a Lego theme is almost 15 years old?
It's been around since '99, as far as I remember.
Yeah. So it's been around quite a few years here. So even from the beginning of Star Wars, there's some pretty old sets. Then here you hit kind of, at the beginning, you've got sort of a beach layout. You got train running through all this, town.
Another town scene. Got a whole bunch of things going on here. You got a little waterfront beach. You got a industry over here with the trains, a little yard, and then you got Toys R Us in the background, and you got the little Beatles sub, yellow sub right over there. Looks like they're about to set up a carnival in the corner. So I was wondering if he was going to set that up, or maybe that's just for show. And then you got more of the town going on here. It seems he's got some characters spread out here. That's probably one of those little hide and seek character finds right here.
Some more modular type buildings in this area.
You got a helicopter in the middle. The helicopter looks pretty cool.
It looks like it's a little oversized for that roof there.
Yes, so hopefully the helicopter's just flying over, not landing on it.
Here's a dragon build. So that's nicely incorporated into the fire station there.
The building's on fire, that's for sure. And then you got a little space shuttle and also airport scene going on here. A lot of planes go around here, and this looks like this green one's about to take off, or just has a very heavy tail.
I love airport builds when you see this because it's not usually incorporated into many city layouts. I think just because it takes up a lot of space and everything for the runways and all that. But I when you do see an airport layout, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's over. A lot of stuff on
And then here's a really neat build. This is a type of I believe it's called the Manitowoc 6400 drag line. And so basically what it does is it can pick up all these small bricks, that kind of one by one smooth studs and all that, and move them around. And this all moves, actually, I believe, remember from last year.
Yeah, he was showing me yesterday that the top part basically had barely any bricks before, so I guess during the day he's just been picking it up and dropping it right there, just like you would see in a quarry. And hopefully he's got something buried down there, maybe some treasure. You never know what's hidden underneath those bricks.
But yeah, it's really cool to see this in action. I believe we have a build on the channel talking to this builder from last year at this show where he kind of showed how it worked. So you can check that out if you want to see some more. And then here we've got a nice mix of builds as well, a lot of smaller stuff. Looks like there's like an old Technic Lego kit back there.
Yeah, definitely can see that. Very large array of vehicles, construction vehicles, and you got airplanes, and you got trucks in the back, cars right there. You got a little monster truck right here. Not too bad, very cool.
Here's a Friends meets Minecraft display. So you got Friends Island and some water and some Minecraft down there with a Green Army Man bow and arrow mercenary in the middle, just to keep things interesting.
I just like how it's mixing it up. They're not fighting each other. It's just they're just going about their merry lives and everything. And then I noticed you got the zombies eating Steve right in the middle. A little Minecraft zombie apocalypse theme going on here. So very, very interesting layout.
Some more massive cars here. I like what they've done by tiling the base and making the road and landscaping, and then some of the really large Lego car kits and Technic stuff here.
Are these actual sets or actual mocks?
I believe the orange one is the Porsche set.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure. Some of these others might be mocks, but it's probably a mix like you've seen earlier here.
That one in the back is definitely a set. I recognize that metallic green color. Remember when that came out? So Technic is a very technical theme going on here when building. So very cool stuff.
So I think that finishes out this kind of surrounding area here, and so then we will move down to this direction. There's some really cool builds at this square layout here. We'll start with David Tennant from Doctor Who, right here, Mosaic. And I like what they've done, kind of using layers of plates there to kind of give that the face effect.
Yeah, like I noticed earlier, like if you keep moving from side to side, like even though it's just nothing's going on, it looks like the face is kind of moving a little bit, kind of like a hologram. So I really like the colors, and the purple really brings it out. That's, even though it just adds that color to the whole black and white monotone.
Come around here, there's another kind of Asian build there. Some smaller sort of micro builds here as well.
Yeah, I noticed that she's got a whole like Pokemon going on here. You got Angry Birds, and then you got like Darth Vader and a Stormtrooper, and then a whole bunch of other things. And she's got a sword here from I forget, Arisa. What's this sword from again?
We have the builder right here, so she can lend some expertise here.
So this is the Sword of Feast and Famine from Magic the Gathering, the Kaladesh edition.
Okay, nice. So then, do you have some other builds around here as well? Yeah, we can move down there. If you want to move with us, we'll have you give a quick overview of what we have on this table over here.
So this is the Pokemon Mosaics, and then my series of 1-to-1 scale replica. The black sword is the sword from Fate Stay Night, a kind of famous anime. And then there's Misty and Brock brickheads, and the Qui-Gon Jinn lightsaber, and a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade.
Okay, cool. So you got the mosaics and kind of the replica builds there as well. Very nice. And then these mosaics are all, is that pretty much all like the 2x2 tiles to make those?
Yeah, it's just 2x2s put together to make the original pixel art.
Well, very neat. Impressive. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then what do we have down here? Looks like some of the old Vikings Castle stuff.
Whole collection of dragons here going on. From what I've gathered, she's a very big fan of dragons. And then we got this really cool sphere-looking thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just really cool. It's like a nuclear thing.
There's a light bulb inside there, and then you kind of look down the different portals into the light there. And then some of the rings, rings that go around.
I just love the way it looks. It's just when I first came in, it was like one of the first things I looked at. It's just really cool. Love it.
Yeah. Very, very impressive. And then finish out real quick this area with the sort of, is this the elves? Some stuff here.
Yeah, the little custom elf sets going on here. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, so very, very impressive builds all around there. And then here we come to a build that, unfortunately right now, I think due to size, might be taken apart slightly, but this is the Tower of Orthanc.
From Lord of the Rings, this was the tower that Saruman pretty much called home, and looks like the top came off just for the night, and it's a very impressive build. I like it. You know, you got Gandalf right at the very bottom. This is probably when he's just entering the area. Then you got Saruman right at the top. And then it's actually open on the back, I've noticed, and you can actually see a whole slew of stuff going on here. Here you can see everything going on here. You got the bottom, you got the orcs already planning to take over Isengard, and then every levels of the tower. You know, you got his living quarters, his library, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you're a fan of the movies, this mock is definitely really cool.
It's amazing how much detail he was able to pack into every level, and just this landscaping is great as well all around around the whole build.
And I know Lego came out with this set and tried to add the effects, but this pretty much covers everything. So very cool.
And over here we've got a big castle display here, so sort of like that tower we just showed you. There's some cool interiors on this as well, and then this actually has some moving parts as well. The guards on the walls move around on kind of a track when it's turned on. Some of the drawbridges go up and down. So lots of neat stuff there. And you also notice that the builder incorporated a lot of kind of the old castle medieval base plates in this build to kind of build up the landscaping as well, which I think is neat. The cool joust area here, lots of people on display.
I saw the jousting that was also moving during the day, and it's very cool. I was just hoping one of the figs would be knocked off, traditional joust style.
I can see how that would be a bit tough if you'd have to come over and fix that every time one was knocked off, though.
And then from what I can see, like this is the good faction, and then the purple-red castle was the evil faction. But that's my guess.
I think you would be accurate there. So really impressive castle layout.
Another landscape that has, what can you find in this layout? This one's got a whole bunch of things going on here instead of just trying to find stuff,
And we will definitely have a more in-depth video with the builder on that, so make sure to look for that on the channel as well. Moving on to this section, we've got kind of a couple large layouts and also what appears to be a zombie apocalypse and not going so well for some of the humans there.
Yep, a lot of zombies going around right there. I don't know if they're going to survive that, but I recognize this. This is from The Walking Dead, and I've seen another person build something similar. That's how I recognize it, but this is when the governor was trying to take over the prison, and that's as much as I know about Walking Dead.
That covers the extent of it, but I think that's good enough. Yeah. So quite a lot. I think they had this last year, but it wasn't quite in this finished state. So it's really been added to, and some neat stuff here with all the fences and everything. Yeah, you see all those zombies getting in there. And then we move from Walking Dead to Star Wars. You've got the large Rebel base on Hoth here, so very recognizable if you've seen the Star Wars movies.
Not really much to say here. This is exactly when the Imperials were attacking the base, and this is when they're doing their evacuation and also attacking. So you got the whole front of everyone walking over here, and then you got the speeders leaving the hangar. So it's very, very cool. It was one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite movies, and everyone likes to do this stuff. And this one also has find some fix, because I can see a clown right there fighting for the Imperials. So very cool stuff.
Turning around behind us, we've got a train layout here.
This looks like a very classic train town style. It's not much to it, sadly, from what I can say, but it's got some very old style tracks going on here.
Some of the old 4-wide vehicles there.
You got like an old style house and gas station. So I don't know if they're actual sets or just mocks being reimagined in old style.
Mm-hmm. Then if you keep moving down around the table here, here is what appears to be sort of a small version of the trench run.
Yeah, from Star Wars, the first movie, and you also got they're using micro fighters in a way, because you got the Darth Vader right there with the other micros, and you got Han swinging in to save the day, and then you got a janitor guy cleaning up the spot. Don't know why.
Just sitting there by the Death Star trench.
Yeah, he had a big mess to clean up at the end of the day. Whole space station blowing up. That's a big mess. And then obviously you got the same style going on here for the Hoth scene again. You got the snow speeders, and then you got the walkers just moving on in. So very, very simple and very cool.
Little park scene there, and then move on down here. Here's kind of some local Indiana stuff. So you've got the Indiana University logo there, Emmett Lego Movie. You've got Purdue Boilers logo. So then some TV station logos. So different kind of TV media and some local Indiana stuff on display here. I think a lot of this was all built by Brian Bonahum, who runs the Brickworld shows and lives here in Indiana.
I like the Kool-Aid guy on top.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Makes me thirsty for Kool-Aid now.
Let's see if we can track some down after the tour here. This is called the Banana Bird. This is a plane built by Brian, which I really like. I love the way he achieved a nice smooth look with the tiles and everything on that plane. Very interesting.
It's a very nice looking plane. We noticed earlier that the propellers don't move, so I'm assuming there could be a motor inside that just spins it around. Otherwise, they should be moving, I think.
That's exactly right. So we come around here. I like the sailboat build. That's pretty interesting. You don't see builds like that a lot.
It looks like it's about to tip over, but that's probably just the way the sails are. The wind is pushing the sailboat, and then I'm assuming these are more Indiana sports stuff. I recognize the Pacers logo. That's
there
all
you go. Oh, look at your sports knowledge coming out.
I worked with someone at the post office, and I knew it was game day because he always showed up in Pacers gear and colors, the blue and gold. So
yeah, and then you've got the Colts logo on the left there, so the NFL team here in Indianapolis, and I believe that's the Fuel, which is the hockey team on the right there.
If I have to guess, is that the old Cubs logo?
I think it might be, yeah. There's some more of your sports knowledge coming out.
I surprised even myself.
And then here's Brian's really cool globe, which you've probably seen in maybe some past videos, but I just love this every time I see it. You've got the whole globe built out of Lego here, and then that Brickworld kind of spins around on the top. So I just think this is really neat.
Yeah, and then he also marked it with the where Chicago would be, and that's where Brickworld, that's the main Brickworld location. And earlier the logo was spinning. It's not spinning now because it's at the end of the night, but it's really cool, and it's a very interesting globe. I wonder if it's hollow on the inside. I wonder how he built it, because it's round, going all the way around. So probably have to ask him that later.
And then over here we've got, which looks like a cool kind of Lego sign with all of the kind of big fig Lego clocks here, and that I really like the sign behind it as well, kind of a light up sign.
It's a very impressive collection of clocks.
I'm not sure who would need this many clocks, but yeah, that must be really hard on daylight savings time day. You got to switch all those.
Oh yes, very cool stuff. Like it.
And there's a little demonstration of how that. I believe that's the Nexo Knights fig there.
It looks like some of the parts move, and looking at this crocodile, it looks like he's got a minifig head from the looks of it, but the head doesn't come off. So very cool stuff, and you got like a whole bunch of other stuff. You got the Ninjago, the Lego Movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then Toy Story, Star Wars, and Batman. And Lego made more clocks, but this is a very good collection going on right here.
Mm-hmm. So then make sure we'll keep moving down this direction in this row. Once again, you've got the smaller, or not the smaller, but the lower table layout here, so that it's easier for the kids to see all of this. And this is really cool. A big, you can see the book here that for classic BattleTech Master Rules. And so basically what this is a big mech layout, and then they play these games with it where you can have these big wars with the mechs.
I'm not familiar with the game, but it looks really cool. I like the large size mechs, and it kind of reminds me of like a moon-based setting, but with just mechs.
The mechs here are just so great, and there's so many of them, and there's really impressive designs. You see the different bays for them. It's almost like a mech drop ship there with the black and red.
Cool. It's got to open it up, opening, and you could probably fit like maybe 5 in there. So that's cool. And then you got a little hangar bay. Kind of reminds me of the movie. What's that one movie with the big giant robots fighting each other? Come on, John. What was it?
I'm not sure if we're going to be any help here. See, big giant Transformers?
No.
That's the only movie I can think of that has big giant robots.
Pacific Rim.
Oh, Pacific. There you go.
Oh man, YouTube's is going to be hating me so much.
So many great comments on this.
A very bad movie. Don't see that movie. It sucks.
You gotta give us a list at the end of all the movies we shouldn't see, because I'm losing track.
I watch a lot of movies, and let me tell you, there's a whole bunch that you just don't need to see. You can live a whole life without seeing most of these movies.
There you go. Well, we'll keep moving around this really cool display. Here's kind of a city layout at the end next to the big mech area.
I like how we moved from a large mech area to just a very small, very humble town layout right here. Not sure if it was done on purpose, but it's just funny.
More bays, and like we mentioned, this kind of cool drop ship here. Here's a fire department with a kind of fire mech there, or at least red mech that kind of matches the fire department's color scheme.
It's a good way to put out the fire.
And yeah, that's a very impressive build. Look at that. There's like 2 bays there, lots of missiles, many weapons. That looks like an impressive, very sturdy build.
I feel like they made this into a toy because I recognize it, and because I recognize it's got the whole missile thing. So that's very cool. You got the pilot sitting right there. You think you'd be sitting in the middle, but that's where he's got like a whole rail gun going on here. Mm-hmm. So that's very cool. Very cool. I like it. And then you got a little Space Needle tower thing going on here.
Yeah. So these mech builds are always just really neat to see the detail the builders put into those. And then I believe last in this kind of row of builds is a big farm layout here. And this, I think, was on display last year, maybe the last couple of years, at the Indiana State Fair, which is actually the area where this show is held. So you'll see this is almost like a greenhouse looking type building here with the slanted roofs and everything. You can see the nice interior there. And then you've got the big farm here.
Very impressive farm layout. Not much else to say. But you can see you got the wheat over here in this corner. You got the farm going on here. And then obviously you got the corn way over here. And I don't know what crops are those in the back. But it's a very, very impressive farm layout going on here. I'm noticing this trend of farms at this convention so far.
You're at a show in Indiana when it's just a bunch of green farms on display.
And they're very proud of it.
It's really the best we can offer. I'm sure as you drove up here from Kentucky, I imagine you saw a few places that reminded you of that on the drive up.
It's like after every 50 miles, we'll see like one house with a barn next to it, and then just more farmland.
Indiana is a thrilling state, kids. You should definitely visit. So then what do we have here? This is a large layout. I think it's a game that you can play and control the different characters here on the board.
I know the person behind this is Steve Hassenplug. I always seen photos of him bringing this to many of the Brick Worlds. I don't know what game it is.
I believe it's called Robo Rally. You can see a mosaic with the name on it there, and yeah, they follow the paths with the arrows and all that.
I like the little arrow pattern here. It kind of reminds me of the game Pokemon, where when you fight the bad guys, their hideouts usually have the arrows where they always put you in a random direction. And then obviously each robot is a character. You got R2-D2 going on there. Wally's over there. You got that one random droid from probably Star Wars. Got a Minecraft creeper over there, and then got a Google Android looking guy right there, and the rest is just other random stuff.
Yeah. So that's always cool, and I know he gets the public involved with that a lot. The public can kind of control some of the characters and everything with their phones. I like that. I like the way that build works. Here is another lowered town city layout, and some cool windmills in there. There's a Toys R Us truck. Is this like a water tower here?
Yeah, that's definitely a water tower. So it's also a good way to landmark where your town is too. You can see those passing when you're driving on a highway.
Cool waterfall.
Coming. Like it. It looks like you can almost want to see behind it, but he's got it covered up. So that would have been cool if there was like a cave right behind this waterfall scene. But I like it. And then you got a giant alligator taking out this girl's canoe. Not sure where he came from, but that's gotta watch out for these.
He lives behind the waterfall.
And you got this one girl. She's about to fall down the waterfall. That's kind of sucks to be her, I guess.
But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Then moving around here, you got an underground train tunnel going through here. Looks like the trains actually go around through, passing the waterfall pond. And
Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine.
You got some little pop culture references in this town layout for that.
Maersk train.
Maersk, yeah, everyone loves the Maersk right here. And then you got other town stuff. You got the industrial stuff right here, and then you got a whole beach waterfront going on here. You got a nice lighthouse. You got a water bottle right there in case you need some water.
Builders work hard at these shows, so they got to stay hydrated.
You got the French style cruise ship yacht thing going on here, and you got a little beach plane thing here. It's a neat little boardwalk going on here, and then you got a little treasure island thing going on here, and then people drilling for oil way over here. So it's very cool.
Yeah, nice little layout there with all the town and train stuff going on. And moving this direction, here's a big castle kind of pirate layout as well. So lots of cool stuff here. Lots of cool ships. Do you have a favorite ship here, Shilo?
Let's
take a closer look.
These boats. Let's see.
See some Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, you got the Black Pearl right here. No, wait. Yeah, that's the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean. You got a Vikings boat right here. You got a Pirates ship right here.
I love the classic Viking ships, by the way. You don't see those that
I
often.
believe these might actually be Lego sets, but that's another guess of mine. But you got a whole slew of pirate ships going on here. And you got a little island shrine thing going on here with a lanternfish and whatnot. And you got a little Forceman's hideout right in the middle. I don't know why they're there. And then you got another evil-looking pirate ship too.
That's another Pirates of the Caribbean. Is that the Queen Anne's Revenge or something similar?
It's got Jack Sparrow on it, but that's not the Black Pearl. It could be the Queen Anne's Revenge.
Something like that.
And then you got the old-style classic pirate ship right over there, and then you got another pirate ship right over there.
Well, this is like the Imperial ship. I love this one here. There's lots of detail on that, lots of cool minifigs.
You got a lot of guys on that ship compared to the pirate ships. And then
here's one of the classic castle sets as well. That is actually
right in the middle of the whole thing. What I liked about this set, I actually had it. You can open it up and you can actually attach more castle sets to the wall instead of just making it a basic one. So very cool. And then you got another Vikings boat being attacked by a giant scorpion. And then you got the ship from the Lord of the Rings with the crew of the dead. Very cool.
And a beach landing. So this is a pirate Viking version of D-Day here. as they're landing on the beach and attacking the Viking town.
I don't think the pirates are going to survive because Vikings are very brutal and they obviously got the high ground. So, but I like the Viking halls right here. That's really cool. And then a very contrast thing going on here. You got the Erebor right here from The Hobbit.
And I love the tower technique here. That's kind of just the big wheels stacked to make the towers.
Yeah, that's from the old castle sets. It's like a little water wheel, and that's a very cool use to make the tower sets. Very nice. I like that little fort. It's actually cool. And then you got once again you got a farm theme going on here. A bunch of crops being grown here.
Built by David Gregory, who we should point out lives in Indiana, so he's very familiar with this.
He's got the wheat. He's got the carrots. He's got tomatoes going over here. I don't know what he has here. It's a whole bunch of crops, sunflowers, corn's way over in the back, and then you got. I'm assuming that's a vineyard right there. You got green and purple grapes.
I do believe so, and I think we have the builder with us right here. So, you want to give confirmation on what that is?
Is that a vineyard?
It is a vineyard. I can actually show you the piece that inspired the entire thing.
At the time.
This purple knight right here has a purple helmet. The purple helmet has never appeared in purple in a set, but Mikael from Sweden, I don't know if you are familiar with that AFOL, he's a very generous guy, walked up to me one time at Brickworld Chicago and said, "Hey, are you the castle coordinator?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, here, have these." I'm like, "Dude, thanks," And I'm like, okay, purple helmet, that's cool, but what do I do with it? Well, obviously I make a purple knight, that's not too hard, but what does a purple knight do? He needs to guard something purple. So I built this entire winery and vineyard along with the grape squisher and everything just because somebody gave me these purple helmets.
That's very impressive. So you just build off the one piece there and made a whole scene. I like that. And then is this yours as well next door here?
The Forestman area is not mine. That was made by Nathan Tysing. He has already gone home for the evening, but yeah.
Kind of expanded on the Forestman theme with this?
Yeah, as you can see, he's incorporated, the Ewok Village stuff, Forestman sets from the 80s, Lord of the Rings stuff. It all fits.
There you go. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. And then do you have any more around the rest of this display here?
Let's see, as far as stuff that's mine, the Dragon Mountain's mine. The Mud Swamp, where the wizards are conjuring the old Rock Raiders mud monsters, that one's mine.
So that's kind of an interesting idea. You've got the brown, kind of like you said, the Mud Swamp, and then the Rock Raiders monsters coming out and attacking the castle.
Yep. And the castle itself is modular. Each section is built on a green base plate, and we have like 2 people made this one, and then 3 people made the other enclosure. And it's just a standard we build by, so that when we all come together, we can make something that's greater than any one of us could build.
Yeah. Well, impressive. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lots of cool stuff here. Keep moving around the rest of the display here. So
you can see the monsters attacking this large castle village going on here. Got the dragon right on top of the church right there. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Josh?
I think that's kind of cool. Whenever you can incorporate that into a medieval build, I like that.
You got these guys storming through the town, but they're just in a line. It looks like they're not attacking. And then, just to make things worse, you got another battle going right on their front door. You got it feels like it's Lord of the Rings inspired, because you got like orcs and the elephants, and then you got the little battle tower things. So, and then they're obviously crossing the river to attack the good guys. A bunch of knights with their swords and shields, and attacking this castle here. So there's a lot of
there are multiple fronts.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting going on this landscape. Different factions just out for each other. And
it's a very, very violent display.
And then you got another castle village here, and then you got the Tower Orthanc right in the middle. So Saruman's up to no good again.
Kind of a micro version almost of the giant one we saw earlier.
Yeah, I want to say that could be part of the Lego set, maybe. It's almost the same size. And then you got here a little humble village going on here. Nothing's evil going on here except for this very evil-looking castle at the very top.
And then not at all evil Grim Reaper riding the skeleton horse in the cemetery.
Definitely nothing going on here. And then you got the whole evil Rag and Wider here. You got the whole ghost. So
it turns out there is a lot of evil going on here.
Yes, pay attention to the no evil stuff. And then changing the tune, we got a very pyramid style thing going on
Almost
here.
like Aztec Mayan type of stuff.
It looks like a mixture of that, and then you got a little frog king looking guy right up here. Like, I don't know what I'm assuming this is like a very reptilian kind of kingdom, because you got like the little dragon like people down here, and then they're up here, so, and then they're riding dinosaurs, so they're fighting someone from the looks of it.
Some Chima inspired stuff here.
Yes, and I can see who they're fighting. They're fighting Vikings right over here. So definitely, this whole circle is just people fighting everyone. And
It's just a circle of violence all around here.
yes, it's a vicious circle, in a way.
And then we want to move this direction over here. Make sure we keep covering everything, and I think we are. We're somewhat close to finishing up. We'll start at the end of this line down here, and make sure we show, like I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure we show as much as possible. So this, I believe, is a group of builders from Michigan, and they brought a lot of buildings from the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. So we start here with, I love this church. Like I mentioned earlier, the stained glass effect is one of my favorite kind of building techniques. So this is the First Baptist Church from, I believe, the Grand Rapids area that I think is really cool, and a cool banana man up top there that Shilo noticed earlier.
I always notice the weird stuff, but I'm not from Grand Rapids, but it's very cool that people always pull their passion from the town and just want to show other people, like, hey, this is a cool building from my town. Like this one right here.
This building is insane. This is the, let's make sure we get this right. I believe this is the Western Michigan University, and it's East Hall. So this is just part of the university, and just this incredibly huge building here.
So yeah, very impressive build. I don't know if it was one person that built it. Judging by the mark card, it looks like it, but it's very impressive build, and it just adds very well to this whole town layout. And then you got more from Grand Rapids. You got a Carnegie Library. I'm assuming that's the corner building right here.
Let's see, this one actually says St. Joseph, Michigan, I think. So there's different areas. Just we don't want to offend any Michigan builders by making sure
This one's from Grand Rapids right here.
we keep it right, so that viewers in Michigan don't get upset at us.
Well, and then you got the Mayor May House, which is that house right there.
Yeah, I think this is a Frank Lloyd Wright house from Grand Rapids, so that's really neat. Always cool to see Frank Lloyd Wright houses built out of Lego.
And here we have another tower that looks like it's about to fall. You can see that it's leaning, so that also gets a certificate of very dangerous models right there. And then here, we're moving along, we got the whole train layout here. I noticed there's a large train club in Michigan, so they probably brought their whole collection here. Yeah, and then we got a whole downtown scene going on here with a Ferris wheel. Looks like there's a carnival going on. Very cool. Got a whole bunch of rides going on here. You got the Ferris wheel. You got the little tilt-a-whirl. You got the cups and all that. A whole bunch of carnival rides. Very cool setting right here. And then right over here, you got a whole derby racing.
Yes, and I love the tank there smashing the cars. So it looks a little one-sided there.
He should be able to win. If the tank doesn't win, then you suck at derby racing.
I think we need more arenas where you can watch tanks smash cars.
And then you got more of this town areas. Looking at the signs, they're from parts of Michigan.
Benton Harbor, I believe, and St. Joe as well. Yeah, so different cities throughout Michigan here that are represented with all these buildings. So if you live in these areas, you might recognize things like there's a Masonic temple, city hall, and fire station. So all sorts of interesting stuff here from Michigan architecture.
And then over here, another town layout. I don't know if it was could be from a lug, but once again, you got the trucks, you got the trains, you got the buildings, and you got a temple right over there. Very cool. But very nice. And then over here we got a
Star Wars stuff.
You got the opening scene from Force Awakens, from when Kylo Ren tries to get the plans from Luke Skywalker's whereabouts, and the person who built this really captured the scene very well, because he got the surrounding villagers. He even has the laser blast that Kylo Ren blocked, and then he's interrogating Poe Dameron right over there. Obviously, and then you got Finn. He's over there with the blood-stained helmet, and then you got BB-8 rolling on out, trying to escape the Imperials.
And even I like these here. That's kind of Han Solo's weapon, and then a lightsaber there as well. I believe it's that Luke's.
The character. Yeah, that's his the second lightsaber with the green blade from when he had it in Return of the Jedi, and that's Han Solo's blaster. I like how you got the figures representing it. Hopefully, the builder will make more kind of like that. And then here you got a town layout with the Monsters Mansion and a few of the modular sets with the Batman sets. You got Clayface taking over. You got the Batmobile going on here, and then you got the Penguin's car right here. And that's pretty much it. And then over here, another Force Awakens set area. You got the fallen AT-AT where Rey, she lives, and then you got the local village where she trades in the parts for stuff. And then this is where in the scene where the troopers are trying to find droids.
Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, it looks like a Mos Eisley Cantina, but those are not the droids we're looking for, definitely. So, and then looks like you got some mech stuff going on here. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, lots of. Behind us here, we have Tom Atkinson looking very tired after the end of a day at the GBC, and surrounding him is the entire GBC layout, which obviously the public isn't here, so it's not running right now, but we can show you around real quick just to show you what some of the modules look like. Definitely look for a more in-depth video with Tom taking us through the modules. What was the best module of the day for you here?
Oh, I can't just pick one. They're all great.
Was it the one that worked?
Like I said, I can't just pick one because worked. Are they supposed to do that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, some of them are. And
Occasionally they work.
yeah, some of them. Well, it's one of those. You know, they all work some of the time, and some of them work all the time, but definitely not all of them work all the time.
There you go. That's the best way to sum up GBC. Thank you, Tom. So yeah, you can see all these neat modules around here. Here's the big arch they build so that they don't have to walk under their tables and they have a way to get in and out. Despicable Me. Lots of cool modules all along here. I really like the rainbow one with some of the...
Very, very colorful. That should be attracting kids straight to the table. You know, that's why I always look for in a mock is like all the colors. You know.
Definitely. Here's kind of a ski lift one that I think is really neat as well.
Cool. And then you got the little Frozen characters too. That usually attracts the crowd. Everyone loves Frozen. And yeah, definitely looks like a little ski slope thing going on here. And then you got a little wasp bee thing going on here. I like the wasp mock a lot. That's actually really cool.
I'm sure if we had more time, Shilo would sing us all of the Frozen songs.
Yes. Gotta let it go though.
And here's, again, like I mentioned earlier, the lowered tables. And so this is a great way for kids. You can even see the pads here for kids to kind of stand on. And
there's no stanchions just blocking us. You know, kids can just come right up and just interact with the modules.
so much more interactive that way. Lots of cool modules all along here. And then we'll start kind of at this end. And this is just going to be, this after we do this row, I think we'll about finish out the whole show floor pretty much. So what do we have here? It looks like a cool medieval layout, water landing, and then you get to the castle.
Yeah, not too bad. Just a basic bad evil knights fighting the good knights. You got the dragon there. I see a mermaid right in the middle of the water. That's cool, interesting detail. And then moving on here, you got another western-looking town with using the whole sandstone effect on the hills. That's actually pretty cool. Looks like they're mining for something over here. And then you got the Indian tribe right over here, right on the outskirts. So basic western sets.
Here's some great fair rides. This is by Dave Guan, who does really incredible work with all of these fair rides here. And they're much more impressive when they're building and there's lights on and stuff, but you can get an idea of what they look like here. All sorts of really cool technical fair
they
rides.
Also move too, so just pretend that they're moving right now. So yeah, he's got a whole bunch of rides, and he calls it the Carnival. You know, inspired. You know, just imagine the Joker running the carnival. That's what I gathered from this.
Lots of great stuff there. And then here's some cool kind of farming tractor type stuff. A lot of these vehicles you'll see, as you mentioned earlier, on all those farms you pass in Indiana, you'll see these vehicles.
A lot of farm stuff I see. You know, everyone loves the farms. So moving along.
we got to make sure we give in-depth coverage to all of the farm equipment because the show is here in Indiana.
And this seems like a very weird alien planet colony thing. There's so much going on here. It looks like it's a mixture of themes because you got you got that little insects. I can't remember what the theme was called, but you had
the Galaxy Squad.
Yeah, the Galaxy Squad themes. You know, you got the fighting the insects, and you got a whole bunch of things going on here. Giant insect thing right here in this cave, and you got the little pods all over the place.
And this was so great. This was a collaborative by the Southern Ohio Lego Users Group, who we mentioned earlier, and there's several builders involved with this, and I just love all the action they incorporated in it. All sorts of cool, even taller buildings.
Some more Galaxy Squad going around here, and then you got a little train thing going on here. It looks like they're connected by bubbles. Trying to use your imagination. Obviously, it's obviously when they move, it looks like they're connecting. So that looks really cool.
Yeah, shout out. I believe that was Kyle Peterson who designed that train, which is just a really awesome design because, like you said, it's just like the bubbles are pushing each other when it moves.
And then you guys see all these giant slugs. They're just coming out of nowhere, and they're a little using the drill pieces, using their body, and that's pretty cool. And you got the Rock Raider guys over here. They're just not having a good day.
And I feel like we need to point out the Waffle House there. I love the Waffle House. I actually had my first Waffle House experience after Brick Fair, Alabama this year.
My first waffle experience was not the Waffle House experience. Not very satisfying.
Okay. We'll move on quickly from that then. On to this very cool Stud Sand Beach. Here is the name of this creation. And lots of "Can you help find me" posters.
Yeah, we don't have time for that, but I would like to say I liked how you did the wave effect. Gives that realistic feeling and the rays a little bit, and you got people surfing and all that. So I really love the detail how he did that.
And some really interesting architecture on these skyscrapers. It's not your normal type of builds you see, and I love the way he did that with the not really interiors on the skyscrapers, but some really cool design on the outside. And then the raised section off of the beach there with the train going through. All sorts of cool details throughout there. Here's even a building with a giant Darth Vader clock.
Well, everyone has to know what time it is. Very cool. I just like the detail, and then you also got the Santa Claus Darth Vader right there.
It's like a Darth Vader shrine almost.
Yes, got it, and he needs to find your face. So, okay. So.
Yeah, very, very, very cool stuff. So then we come around here. I like the Lego banner.
Oh yes, everyone needs to know that this is Lego, but a lot of more cool pop culture stuff. Messed around here. You see the TARDIS right in the corner, and
Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Yeah, there it is, and you got the Slimer and the ghost moving around. And he's got something on the roof. I don't know what that's going on here. It looks like that's the bat from the Dark Knight Rises. Mm-hmm. I know Batman hid that on top of the building. It looks like Superman's inside the building too, at the very top. So that's very cool. And then just more of the beach waterfront right here. I also like the Transclear walkway connecting the buildings together. And then you got the raised train bridge going around here. So that's really cool.
The raised train is really neat. You don't see a lot of that type of stuff usually. So I like that technique. Then over here we have what is a Batman. So obviously the Lego Batman movie just came out pretty recently. So lots of big stuff surrounding the Lego Batman builds right now. So this is a collaborative with kind of Gotham City over here. You can see some stuff from the Joker. Then you've got Wayne Manor and all of the Batcave stuff.
I would like to point out that Wayne Manor is very empty. It looks like Bruce Wayne had to sell everything just to fund the whole Batcaves, and looks like it's a mixture of type of Batcaves. You got the classic Batcave, and then you got a very large Batcave over here. You got the Bat computer going on here, the whole collection of Batmobiles and all that. And then you got his personal collection over here. It looks like the builder turned it away, but he's got his T-Rex, the giant coin that he has, and
I love this from the Batman movie. If you've seen it,
the collection of Batsuits here, and then you also move. Oh, sorry about that. And then moving along here, you got the little Bat boats, and then more Batmobiles. So Batman has a mobile for everything. And then you got the large Joker card in the middle. It looks like something happened over here, but we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's really neat. You can come around and get a look at the front side of the front is definitely the more impressive part of Wayne Manor on this build.
I really like the building. I just wish there was more on the inside. Maybe next year the person will fill it with more stuff going on inside. And then
one other cool detail. So if you've seen, once again, the Lego Batman movie, the orphanage plays a part. So I really like here you got Batman with all the kids at the orphanage.
Yeah, one thing I found funny about that movie is when Batman was visiting the orphanage, like after he was doing all those figure eights, there was a whole pile of money just lying on the ground. I thought that was actually really hilarious about the movie. And then you got more of the attacks on Gotham. You got the Scuttler right over here from Batman, and then Clayface is over in the corner attacking the city. A bunch of things are going on here. So really cool. And I like the building. It reminds me of the probably like Wayne Tower from the Dark Knight series, which was filmed in Chicago. So it looks very Chicago themed building right there.
Yeah. So that's a great Batman collaborative for, obviously, like I mentioned, the Lego Batman movie coming out. I think there's a lot of builds surrounding that. And then what do we have here, Shilo? I know there's some great techniques that this builder used.
There's a lot of swooshing going on here and a lot of pew pew pew. This is the Battle Geonosis from Attack of the Clones. Got the clone ships coming in here, and you got the clones moving their way into the Geonosian factories, and the droids are attacking them. So you got the large mountain landscape. This is probably right behind the Colosseum, to where all the Jedis were fighting the droids. So it's very cool. And then like inside, you can see the factories where the droids are also being made, and you can see Count Dooku, doing his thing with the Trade Federation and the Commerce Guild and all that. So if you've seen the movie, this is pretty much what happens all in it. And this is also one of those layouts we can find stuff. You can see Batman at the very top doing what he does best, just being Batman. And
very excellent use of the minifig on a base plate technique here. That's incorporated very well.
Yes, a lot of minifigs on the base plate, so very cool. And that's pretty much
That's about it. We can show you real quick over here. You've got kind of the build areas. So there's the gray brick build area. So this is kind of the more public interaction part of the show. So you've got just tons of gray bricks laid out on the tables there. Beyond it, you can see the concession stand, which generally has a very long line while the public is here. So you got to eat and drink.
And lining this whole convention hall, I know people always like to see them, but you got all the vendors going all the way around, and they're off. Sadly, they're not here, so we can't talk to them, but they lined up the whole perimeter of the show. So very cool.
Yeah, lots of neat stuff. And then there's this square here. We don't want to miss this. Make sure we show you everything as we walk by the Duplo build area as well. We almost missed this.
This would be the mine storms area, because you got a lot of stuff going on here. You got a little factory that's moving the colored blocks in the right slots over here. And it was working today. It was doing it correctly. Some blocks were accidentally placed in the wrong colors, but other than that, it was actually working pretty nicely. And then
Yeah, this is by a builder named Nikki Fitzgerald, and I think we've showed you on the channel previously kind of a similar version of that block sorting machine he's had. And then this is a new build I've never seen from him before.
during the day, he actually had a two-player Flappy Bird game. What we do is you're pressing down on this to move the birds up and down, and kids were actually playing against each other. And if you don't know Flappy Bird, you move the bird up and down to try to get them through the pipes without touching them, and kids were enjoying it. There was a lot of people over here.
And then this is Nikki's tic-tac-toe as well. So I think he's got all everything. A lot of what he does is very interactive, and kids can play against the machines and stuff.
It's very cool, and it looks like he got a Simon Says game right here. You got to basically follow what Simon says. Obviously, it's not working, so we can't really play it, sadly. And then you got a whole bunch of looks like a little
Robo Magellan Navigator is what that thing's called.
That's a long name for that Robo Magellan. And then you got Emmett's Wild Ride, which it just looks like he's on a tightrope with the construction guys, so that's interesting. And then you got a catamaran right over here, and I don't know what's going on over there. It looks like almost like a robot that got destroyed.
Actually, the catamaran, I believe the official mock card name is Pontoony McPaddleface, is what the mock card says. So I feel like that's really what we need to refer to it as with the official name.
Pontoon McPaddleface. Yes.
So yeah, make sure we didn't skip some of those cool Technic creations, and then come in. You've got the red brick build area here as well. So I think it's appropriate to end by a massive pile of red brick here. Hear that beautiful Lego mixing sound. Isn't that wonderful?
And let it be known, we are the last ones here. So
I think we might be.
Look how empty this hall is right now.
This is very unusual. This might be the first time we've ever ended a tour where we're the only people left in the hall.
And just so people know, it's not like 1 o'clock or anything. It's like just past 9:30. So.
Here in Indiana, we go to bed early.
Yeah, I've noticed. So yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tour of Brickworld Indy, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and thank you, Shilo, for joining me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think it turned out great. Hopefully you all enjoyed seeing all the builds, and we'll make sure to give you full coverage of all the shows like this in the future. Thank you for watching.